Hello then, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for round 3 of the Formula 1. Actually, it's not round 3, it's round 4 of the Formula 1 2025 Championship. We are here, it's not even round 4, it's round 5 here in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. A street circuit for the first time this season, and 3 sectors, a track distance of 6.174 kilometres, 3.8 miles, 50 laps around this jewel in the desert. 2.5 metres is the elevation here, and Max Verstappen setting the track lap record last year in 2024. We're here for practice 1, and here are the tyres for this weekend. The C4, C5, C3 tyres, the soft, one of the softest, not the softest, it's the second softest compound Pirelli have to offer. C3, the third hardest compound. So expect some interesting decisions when it does come to race day though. However, we're not there just yet. We have got practice action here on Friday afternoon in the UK. I hope you're having a lovely afternoon. We are almost ready to go. And for the first time, well, the only time probably all weekend, except from practice 3 tomorrow, is the only time we're going to see this track in daylight. It's going to be very interesting to see. Of course, the teams won't be running their race simulations just yet, as this is definitely not the conditions we'll be having for the race. It's 28 degrees currently. They're clear. Track temp moderate with 50 degrees. Humidity 71%, which is quite high, and the wind 5.7 kilometers per hour to the northwest. Interesting conditions for Friday practice, and it is only practice 1, so we're not going to see any reserve drivers in this session. All 20 drivers on the current F1 grid will be in this session. Of course, though, it's definitely going to be one of 6 rookies. If you include Fernando Alonso, will have to, let's say, brace this track. It's very hard, and considering they don't race this track a lot in support series, they do race for Formula 2, F1 Academy as well, but that's really it. If you come from F3, or you come from F2 but didn't race here, it's a tough circuit to get used to. 27 corners, one of the most, all calendar, if not the most. It's a tough circuit. First race here in Formula 1 was in 2021. Remember that incredible race where Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton clashed and collided. It was very interesting. Oscar Piastri was the victor last time out in Bahrain. However, he's not top of the Drivers' Championship. That goes to Lando Norris, who leads by 3 points over Oscar Piastri. Max Verstappen falls behind on 69 points. Lewis Hamilton, we see him now in his Ferrari, is 7th in the Drivers' Championship. He's on 25 points. That's the most points you can get from a weekend if you get a race win. Of course, they got rid of the fastest lap point this season. See George Russell, he's 4th in the championship on 63 points, which is actually his race number. So maybe the stars will align for George Russell this weekend. The question is he ready? Isaac Hadjar, he crashed in Australia on the formation lap. He's got 4 points since. He's 15th in the Drivers' Championship for Racing Bulls. He's the only driver to be at Racing Bull at the start of the season. Of course, we had Yuki Tsunoda. He's switched sides. He's a Red Bull driver now. Oliver Behrman, what a race for him last time out. Started last, finished in the points. He has 6 points to his name, and he is 13th in the Drivers' Championship, number 87 for the American Haas team. As we see the tyre blankets come off, you might see the live timing is just a bit ahead of us. That's because the TV broadcast is always a bit delayed, and we are underway. The green light is at the end of the pit lane, as we see Oliver Behrman exit his garage. And the weekend, the Formula 1 weekend, is underway. We've already had Formula 2, F1 Academy action already underway. Hashtag Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. This weekend is definitely looking to be a very interesting one, and it's going to be fun. We see Lewis Hamilton in the pit lane now. He's just leaving the queue. Of course, they'll all be slow. They've been told before, really, every weekend, really, do not stop in the pit lane. And all they're trying to do is create that gap between each other. And you can see in the stands there are a few fans wearing Ferrari hats, and We see Lando Norris first run out of the pit lane, first run onto the track. This very hot track at the moment, 50 degrees. It won't be this hot when it comes to the race on Sunday evening. And Saturday qualifying, it definitely won't be this hot. Previous race, Lando Norris started 6th, he finished 3rd. He said he could have finished a bit higher. He had George Russell to fend off from. He was having all those issues last time out. Let's hope they're all sorted for him. As we see Lando Norris come round the banked corner, to cost 2.5 metres of elevation here. We look at Andrea Stella, he's on the pit wall. And the pit lane is a bit calm at the moment. All the cars are on the track. And that's what you want to do. If you're on a team with a rookie, you want to get them out straight away. You've got 60 minutes. You'd say this session is 60 minutes practice for them. Next session, you work on it for the race. It's going to be very interesting because surely one of these points, either in this session or at any point today, one of these rookies are going to mess up somewhere. Antonelli's reporting on the radio. He's got a massive vibration on the brake. He's 6th in the Drivers' Championship on 30 points. But we're still waiting for the first times to set off. Alex Albon has just re-entered the pit lane again. All drivers are on the track except from him. We had Hülkenberg, Russell and Stroll who hadn't gone out yet, but Albon was out. He was 4th car out, I believe, and he's already back in the pit lane. We're focusing on Antonelli a bit here, as Lando Norris is on his first flying lap of the weekend, and he's through sector 1 and through these fast sweeping corners. Watch out for the curb there. You don't want it to spin you. Don't want to go a bit wide there. It could be track limits. Although they say it's track limits, it's not really like gaining much. He's 33.6 through the first sector. He's catching up to the back of Stroll, Russell and Hülkenberg. The last 3 cars to exit the pit lane. Antonelli hasn't pitted after he said he had a massive vibration on the brake. There's Hülkenberg, who's pulled to the side as he lets Norris by, who's on an absolute flyer here. We'll see his sector 2 time in just a second. Norris on the medium compound tyre, not the fastest, not the worst. Okay, so he's 1 minute 2.5 through sector 2. We're going through sector 3 now, and sector 3 usually made of this long turn 25 through 26 and then 27. It's a very long corner, and there's a lot of lap traffic, including one of the RBs who didn't move out the way nearly. Almost went in the back. Those fastest first sector and second sectors have been replaced. And Lando Norris finishes on a 1:31.8, the first time of the weekend. He goes to the top. Oliver Behrman does cross the line. I don't know if he did set a time or he just moved up. He is second though, currently in practice 2. Lawson wasn't the one. I think it was Isaac Hadjar who didn't move out the way nearly. Very close, and Lando Norris has been replaced at the top already by the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. Very interesting. We look at George Russell. Max Verstappen saying a 33.681 through the first sector. George Russell on the medium compound. We'll see what time he puts in through the first sector. It is not the fastest. He's a 10th off. 0.195 off in the first sector. Gasly's put his Alpine into 3rd. As we're on board with Russell in driver's eye camera. The camera they all want to... Well, you really want... This is what an F1 driver sees during a race. All on boards, though, are very interesting to look at. George Russell, then, we'll see what his Sector 2 is looking like. He's 4/10 up. Piastri goes top of the time, so he's 4/10 down, on Piastri. Piastri saying a 1:31.5. Norris said a 1:31.8, I believe. Verstappen went a 10th quicker than Norris. Piastri is currently top of the times. Then Russell, let's see what he does through the final corner now, and he's got a bit of a slipstream off the Racing Bull up front of Hadjar. Comes across the line. It's the fastest Sector 3 so far. 3/10 off, and he leapfrog Russell in the times. He's 3rd fastest with 54 minutes to go here in practice 1. As we look at the Mercedes pit wall now. Only 3 cars who haven't set a lap time so far. 2 of those are in the pit lane. That's Ocon and Albon. Albon's been in the pit lane for quite a bit. He's not set a lap time yet. He did go out. And Ocon sets a lap time now. And it was quite slow. Is Pierre Gasly on board? Does he lock up? Yes, he does. He locks up at the final corner. Doesn't hit the wall. But it's a big lock-up. That will give him vibrations on that front left tyre. Antonelli did report vibrations. Here's Lewis Hamilton. One ball with him here. Oh, he had a bit of a slide. Nearly hitting the inside wall coming into the chicane at the start of Sector 2, or the chicane in Sector 2 after you go off the banking. That's not really what you want. Yuki Tsunoda's 6 on the times. He's just set a lap time of 1 minute 32.118. Lewis Hamilton on the medium tyre is 1.9 seconds away from the leader in a Ferrari car, which he has said is underperforming. But apparently they know. Riccardo Andami is his race engineer at Ferrari. Of course, he made this big move unexpectedly from Mercedes to Ferrari. As we see him, he's going round the first sector, but he's going round quite slowly. Piastri's on the radio now. The drink is leaking better than last week, but I think it's leaking in my helmet. That is definitely not what you want if you're a driver. It's bringing you back to Japan, where Isaac Hadjar, during qualifying as well, his seat, I believe, was very loose, so they had to fix that quickly. Might be a bit of a problem there for Piastri. Norris has set a fastest Sector 2. Verstappen's gone fastest in the first sector. Norris is going to come across the line now. Is he going to top the times? Yes, he is! By a second. Lando Norris tops the times by 1 minute 30.4. But here comes Verstappen. Verstappen looks like he's on a flyer as well. Sector 1 was the fastest. Sector 2 was a personal best. As I said, Sector 1 was fastest. It's got replaced by Oscar Piastri, who's gone a tenth quicker than Verstappen there in the first sector. Verstappen's going to be the first one to come around the line as he goes through that final corner. Back in 2021, remember, he hit that wall in qualifying. Max Verstappen will go second. He's a tenth off Lando Norris. Oscar Piastri has not gone through Sector 2 yet. He's just about to go through it now. And he's 600ths off of Lando Norris's time there. And now, as he comes round that really long final corner. Not actually the final corner. It's 3 corners really in one, you could say. As now, he enters that final corner. Bortoletto's improved. He's up into 15th. Charles Leclerc is down in 17th. Fernando Alonso finds himself going up to 4th. Oscar Piastri gets the DRS open on the back straight. Where does he go? He goes second by a 10th. And he's 300ths quicker than Max Verstappen in these early stages. 10 minutes gone here in practice 1. 50 minutes or so to go here. As we see Tom Stallard, one of the race engineers at McLaren. Very interesting. One thing I don't think much people have noticed is that Alex Albon pitted on his outlap. On his first outlap. He went out first. I don't know whether there's an issue there. No, he's just got out now. He's just got out now, I believe. Yes, he has. There is one car that isn't out. I'll just make sure. Because you can't really see it zoomed out for some reason in a moment. We're looking at picture-in-picture here. Russell's going to come to the line. It's fastest Sector 2 for him. Comes across the line. It's first for Russell. 0.029s quicker than Lando Norris. He's leapfrogged the McLarens in the early stages. Leclerc now in 17th. Struggling through Sector 2. 2 tenths off. As now he goes through that really long final corner off that chicane there. Which you don't... It's a question of whether you brake or you lift off heavily for it as you come around now the final corner. Claire almost locking up there in a little bit of a slide in the corner as you get close to the wall as you possibly can. Charles Leclerc now going to come up to the line. It's not going to be fastest by quite a while. 3/10, he'll go 6th place. And that, if you're new to F1, that's quite a long way off. Antonelli, oh, big lock up. Big lock up for, I think that's Behrman going into turn 1. That was massive from Oliver Behrman. That will do no well. We were watching, I don't know who it was, cross the line now, and the camera just, we saw a puff of smoke, and Oliver Behrman had a massive lock up at turn 1. Went off, but he's recovered now, and now he'll go very slowly, and that will ruin that pair of tyres. He's on the hard tyres as well. That's a very big, oh, he nearly slid into the wall as well. I don't know what locked it with the front or the back. It could have been the back, you know. He kind of, it dipped nearly into the wall there, and that could have been very bad for Oliver Behrman. On the radio, I don't know what happened there, says Oliver Behrman. That was a very scary moment. Already in practice 1, and his dad watching David Behrman, his father watching in the back. He got on the radio at the end of the last race, saying he was very proud of him after his performance. Fernando Alonso, now we are looking at. He started 13th in Bahrain, finished 15th. Not the best of races for him. 5/10 off Lando Norris's best time in Sector 1. He's currently 9th. And all drivers are on track except from Hulkenberg. Ocon is the only driver not to have set a time. Albon, who he's questioned why he was in the pit lane. I don't actually know where he is on the leaderboard. He's 13th. He's 1.8 seconds off Lando Norris, who leads on a 1 minute 29.9. See Alonso now. We'll see what his time looks like in Sector 2. He's 8/10 off now on Norris. And his time, well, his best time is 1.5 seconds off the top. So maybe an improvement here. He has got personal best in the first 2 sectors. We look at Oscar Piastri, and there is smoke at the final corner. Someone must have locked up there again. There was smoke at the final corner, but no car really seemed to be the culprit. We may see a replay of that in a second. Alonso comes across the line. It's an improvement of 4/10. He's up into 7th. Piastri goes up into 2nd. 3/10 off Norris, who's the leader here. Sainz is next to come to the line, and he sets a time that is 3/10 off when he goes up into 3rd place. Those Williams looking good, as we see now. Oliver Behrman into the pit lane. Very interesting stuff there. Let's have a look there. Oh yes, a lock-up from Jack Doohan. I mean, he took that corner interestingly, considering he locked up. There was a car that was slow on the outside. I don't think, no, that definitely wouldn't have impeded him whatsoever, unless he was more focused on that. Let's see what he says. I don't even know what the Aston was doing in the last corner. That's why I locked up, sorry, copy. I think he was just, I don't know what he said. It's too zoomed out at the moment, because we've got picture-in-picture of Oliver Behrman in the pit lane. Gabriel Bortoleto also locked up the final corner. He's currently 19th, one of the rookies so far in this 2025 season. Very interesting stuff, to say the least. As George Russell now makes his way to the line, and he goes fastest by 3/10. George Russell setting a 1 minute 29.674. Good time for him to start off here. And it's Russell who leads from Norris, who is in the pit lane. Piastri, Sainz, Tsunoda, Verstappen, Leclerc, Alonso, Gasly, and Antonelli in the top 10. Ocon finally has set a lap time. He's 3.9 seconds away from everyone else. Lando Norris, they are putting up a man wall at McLaren. All the engineers trying to block the view from the cameras in the garage there. That's Lando Norris, who they're trying to cover up. And he's 3/10 quicker than his teammate, who is also in the pit lane now. Let's see what he says. Touch the wall a bit on the right hand side. Very small, but just check. So Piastri has hit the wall somewhere. I'm going to put a prediction on where he hit the wall. I bet you he hit the wall in the final corner. Might see a replay soon. We're on board with Isaac Hadjar, who's in 13th. talking about replays, let's have a look at the replay of Jack Doohan. Don't know what the Aston was doing in the last corner, that's why I locked up. Sorry. You can see his response. I think it was just a bit in the way there for you. Now, I'm questioning that, because in my opinion, that was not in the way. He was quite off to the right, and at like the furthest away point he could have gone if he didn't want to go off the track. So I disagree with Jack Doohan. I disagree with his engineer. He wasn't in the way completely. As Hadjar will come across the line, he's 1.8 seconds off. No improvement there, 1 minute 31. 0.5 for him so far. So Russell is still out on track. He leads the way. And just as I say that, he comes into the pit lane. We see Kimi Antonelli now, and maybe this is the point in the session where drivers come in. Antonelli on the medium tyres, done 7 laps on those. We'll see what he looks like coming into the end of the sector 2 now. We'll see what he looks like compared to his teammate who said a 1 minute 0.8. Antonelli will go through. He's set 7 tenths off of that. So 1 minute, 1 second and 5 tenths. Basic maths there. All top 4 in this session. So Russell, Norris, Verstappen and Piastri are in the pit lane. Everyone else, except from Behrman, who's down in 18th, is out on track. So Noda's on an out lap. He's in 6th place. Definitely doing a lot better than Lawson, who he did replace at Red Bull. Lawson is 14th in the Racing Bull car. And Antonelli is 7th, 8 tenths off. George Russell, his teammate, is the current leader. We see Toto Wolff, team principal and CEO of the Mercedes F1 team. And there you go. He saw his face on the camera. Gave him a little smile as well. Valtteri Bottas now on the camera. He gave a little bit of a laugh. Didn't look at the camera. I think he's trying to look concentrated. Come on, Valtteri, look at the camera. No, we don't get to see if he did or not. See the Red Bull on the back of the Ferrari now. Yuki Tsunoda finished 9th in Bahrain, scored his first points of the season. And with that, Sky Sports F1 decide, let's take a break. I hate they have to take breaks in the middle of qualifying. However, though, that is the way they make their money. That is the way they do it. So 40 minutes to go here in practice. And George Russell leads the way from Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, Carlos Sainz, Yuki Tsunoda, Kimi Antonelli, Charles Leclerc, Alexander Albon, Pierre Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, Jack Doohan, Nico Hulkenberg, Liam Lawson, Isaac Hadjar, Lance Stroll, Oliver Behrman, Esteban Ocon and Gabriel Bortoleto. And let's talk about reserve drivers. Of course, there is a rule in F1 practice. You have to run your reserve drivers at least a few times throughout the season. And you've got to be feeling they haven't done that in this session. They would have done it in Bahrain because in Bahrain they had the testing, so the drivers would have been used to that track. So maybe it's an excuse to use up one of those slots to get the reserve driver to do one of their races they have to do all season. So that's why maybe they're not doing that this weekend, because it's a track that's relatively new, came around in 2021. Yes, it's 4 years ago, but it's one of the newest tracks in the Formula 1 calendar, which means some drivers will be still getting to grips with it, including those rookies. If you're thinking of using a rookie to put a reserve driver in, you've got to think why at this point, because it's basically the same thing, and you want to get your reserve isn't going to be doing the race unless your rookie gets horrendously ill, like Carlos Sainz did last year. That's why Oliver Behrman replaced him, because Carlos Sainz had appendicitis and had to miss the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, so that's why he had that experience in the Ferrari. But some tracks where they have to really use that, they use it in Mexico sometimes, but that's really near the end of the season. But maybe it's because some of the drivers think that's an easy track and It's been on the F1 calendar for definitely a lot longer than Saudi Arabia. Monaco, if they use a reserve driver at Monaco, I will be seriously impressed. And if that driver finishes the session without crashing, then I will be seriously impressed. But that would be a bit silly. You'd like to get your reserve driver, even though they race at Monaco in the reserve series. It's still a hard track and it's a faster car as well. I mean, Formula 2 are doing lap times of 1 minute 47s, like we saw earlier in practice. The F1 cars, they're doing lap times around about just under 20 seconds quicker. As we're back to the action finally, and finished the break at Sky Sports F1, and we're on board with Esteban Ocon, who comes around the final corner. He's 19th. Will he leapfrog up? Well, if you count one place at leapfrogging, he's gone up into 18th, and he replaces Oliver Behrman there. And I don't know whether they're looking at Oliver Behrman's car after his lock-up at turn 1. Very dramatic. Definitely. Very massive moment for him. But he is still 1.4 seconds quicker than Gabriel Bortoleto, who's in last place. 3.9 seconds off the leader. He's in the pit lane. It's only a really few cars out on track, which are Gasly, Albon, Doohan, Lawson, and Ocon. Ocon was in the pit lane for a while. Albon, is he still out? Yes, Albon was in the pit lane for a while. So, you've got to think that. Doohan, who's in 13th place, has finished his out lap, and now he's on his flying lap through the first chicane, and now we move forward into maybe a bit of a quicker chicane. You want to accelerate midway through that corner, watch out for the curb, and then a little bit of a move on your steering wheel to the left, back to the right, get on that curb, now to the right, to the left. Don't go wide there, it's track limits. Of course, the blue line indicates that, and now we come up through the end of Sector 1. He's 3/10 behind George Russell through Sector 1 into the banking. There in Sector 2, 2.5 meters of elevation on this track as you move a little bit to the right, switch to the left, into the braking zone. As you move to the right and left for a big chicane, watch out for the wall on the exit, and now you move on to a bigger flat out section. As it's left, right through here, and then all of a sudden it's brake as you go into the chicane, and then you lead onto this massive final corner, come out the chicane, and there you go, round the final corner you go. Midway through the corner though, it's classified as another corner. Very interesting. As you go now into the final corner, watch out for the wall and exit. Doohan maybe got a little bit of understeer there in my opinion, and get that DRS enabled. And what we'll do, well, they'll go up to 9th in the times, 8/10 off George Russell's car. As we get closer to halfway in the session, the times getting a little bit closer now as we look into the back of the Alpine garage. We see Flavio there. And who's to the right of him? None other than Paul Aron, testing reserve driver for Alpine, raced in Formula 2 last season. Now he's been promoted, you should say. We'll look at the current driver wins, how many most wins. Lewis Hamilton tops that list on 105. This is in current driver. Max Verstappen's on 64. Fernando Alonso's 32, and then you've got Charles Leclerc 8, Norris 5, Sainz 4, Piastri 4, Russell 3, Gasly 1, Ocon 1. Surely there's some other guys that should be making that list. Stroll should be on that list. Was it Stroll? No, it wasn't. It wasn't Stroll. Interesting. Carlos Sainz now. We're on board as he comes up to the banking at the start here of Sector 2, 0.03. Tenths down on George Russell's time. He is on those soft tyres though, so that will give him better grip advantage. Goes through the chicane. Gets very close to the wall on the exit. Maybe George Russell set his lap on the medium tyres. Carlos Sainz setting this lap on the soft. He is 2/10 down through Sector 2, so if he gets a good Sector 3 here, this could be very nice. Question is, what can he do with it as he comes around this final corner? Piastri is on an out lap in the McLaren. Hulkenberg is as well. Sainz is another car out as we see him now coming around the final corner, trying to just get on the power very early there without hitting the wall as quickly as you can. Coming up to the line, is it going to be good? It's going to be very good. Fastest Sector 3. I said it had to be a very good Sector 3. He's just 2/10 off there as he goes into second place. Who's fastest on the straights? Well, top two, Albon and Sainz, very close to each other. Well, actually, 0.0 seconds away from each other. George Russell in third, 0.01 seconds away from the Williams. So, maybe early pace for the Williams. They'll be maybe good on tracks that go straight, as we see slow-mo of Carlos Sainz on the curb. Some sparks from underneath the floor there, as he very heavily mounted that curb. As we're on board with Oscar Piastri, he is on an out lap, and now he starts a flying lap. The first driver to achieve multiple poles, multiple wins, and lead over 100 laps this season. He's not at the top of the drivers' standings just yet, but if he does score higher than, I believe it's 5 points this weekend, he will take the lead in the drivers' standing over Lando Norris. And the only reason why he isn't leading is because of his start to the season, especially what happened in Australia, his home race, where he skidded off and it all came undone. Norris did as well, but he was able to save it really and finish still in a good position, as Piastri has gone fastest through the first sector here. We're getting close to see what is Sector 2, how he's looking at the end of this Sector 2 on George Russell. What is it like? Well, he's 1/10 off of George Russell's time. Not a personal best either in Sector 2. Lando Norris is in third. We are just waiting for his first sector time. We're on board with Oscar Piastri as he comes around the final corner now. What can he do against George Russell's time? Lando Norris steals Oscar Piastri's fastest first sector, and he takes it by 3/10. Very interesting stuff done there. Oscar Piastri comes to the line. He's 0.034 off on George Russell, and he goes up into second. Lando Norris is in fourth place after that, as he's coming up to the end of Sector 2. Max Verstappen is about to come up to the end of Sector 1. What is it? He's 0.04 seconds off of George Russell there. Lando Norris is 3/10 up on George Russell, though, through Sector 2. So that could be a good time there. This might be a new leader here, just before the halfway mark, with 30 minutes and 10 seconds to go. He might get it exactly on the dot of 30 minutes to go. Round the final corner, almost touching the wall. Very close there to Lando Norris, putting a lot of effort into this lap as he comes across the line. This is looking very good, 4/10 up. And he takes the fastest time, a 1 minute 29.2. George Russell, though, did set that time on the mediums. Both McLarens sending on the stop, including Max Verstappen, who comes around the final corner. Personal bests in Sector 1 and Sector 2. No fastest sectors for him on this lap, unless he can get one in the final sector. As he comes across the line, what is it going to be? He goes up into P4, 5/10 off. Lando Norris, who leads this session. Charles Leclerc through Sector 2 is 4/10 off Lando Norris's best time. He's on the soft tyres as well. George Russell, who was the leader around about 2 minutes ago, is in second now, and he's on the soft tyres. He's not done well through the second sector. He's 3/10 off Norris, so it might have come undone from there. Had a personal best Sector 1 as well. Charles Leclerc, personal best through Sector 1, Sector 2. What can he do here in the final sector on the run up to the line? DRS is open. What can he do? He goes up into P4 and he's faster than Max Verstappen. He won't be happy about that. 1 minute 29.78. George Russell now coming up to the line. DRS enabled. What can he do? Sector 2 wasn't good. Sector 3, personal best, 3/10 off, and he goes up into P2, separating McLarens of Norris and Piastri. It's the Ferrari of Lewis Hamilton who comes up the line. He's 9/10 off on the soft tyre. He goes up into P8. And we can calm down just for a little bit there. As we look at Lando Norris. Here, I believe this is the first chicane. I think it's just a slow-mo. I've been mounting the curb there. Oh, a lot of sparks. Let's hit the curb, and the curb was glowing for a second. Maybe ignited for just less than a second of Pierre Gasly. So close to hitting the wall. Very close to hitting on the inside. So close, in fact. We're just looking at the security camera. There's a full-on CCTV camera. That is incredibly close. Definitely to take the curb off that chicane. Very much better than we have seen by the facts of Lando Norris so far. Yuki Tsunoda's got a bit of flow paint on the rear wing as he's coming through his first sector now. He had personal best in the first sector, close to seeing what it's like in sector 2. Very interesting to see. Verstappen on the radio. It's still my first sector, like turn 1 and turn 2. I just can't turn the car. I mean, he does like to complain about the Red Bull a lot nowadays. And apparently in his contract, if he drops out of the top 3 in the World Drivers' Championship, he can leave Red Bull Racing. He has been rumoured to go to another team like the likes of Aston Martin. Lawrence Stroll would love that. As Yuki Tsunoda comes to the line in the Red Bull, what will it be? He goes up into 6. And Hulkenberg, one of the Sauber, is quite up there. He's in 7th. And comparing Hulkenberg to his teammate, well, there's a gap of 13 places. Bortoleto, who is on that soft tyre, is a long way off everyone. One thing to know, Oliver Behrman hasn't come back out on track for quite a while. Ever since he had that lock-up, he went into the pit lane. Don't know who else. I think that's Liam Lawson. It's either Liam Lawson or Isaac Hadjar they're looking at. I think it's Liam Lawson's car they are looking at. Very interesting stuff there going on at the Racing Bull garage. So just seeing whether the Williams going off track at one of the chicanes. I think it's the one at the end of sector 2. Kimi Antonelli is on the soft tyre now. This is his first lap on it. Getting dust kicked up there at the chicane, and now he comes round the long bending final corner. Well, not the final corner, he'll soon transformers now. He comes up to the final corner. Well, it'd be like for him. Norris and Russell both were in the pit lane momentarily. They're back out, they're on out laps, on soft tyres. Antonelli comes across the line, he does improve, and he goes up into 9th place, 6/10 off Lando Norris, who currently leads. Piastri coming to the line. What will it be? Fastest sector 3 is only 1/10 off his teammate. And for once again in this session, both McLarens are P1 and P2 at the top of the times. It's just 1/10 that separates them there. It's Norris who gets it through sector 1 and sector 2, but Piastri gains a little bit back through sector 3 there. But Norris has the better lap overall. I mean, very interesting stuff there from the McLaren. They keep on going at each other there. But yeah, very interesting stuff. So you see Fernando Alonso now coming up to the line. What will it be for him? 1.1 seconds off. No improvement for him there as he goes, or stays in 13th place. Carlos Sainz is in 8th as he comes now to the end of Sector 2. What will it be through Sector 2? Well, it's 4/10 off, no personal best for him there. And as he comes around that long final, well, penultimate corner now, what will it be? Everyone really on that soft tyre, except from a few like Albon, Gasly, Doohan and Stroll. Here comes Sainz towards the line. What will it be for him? Well, he leapfrog everyone almost up to 4. 1 minute 29.7 for him. Good lap, he's 5/10 off Norris as Gasly. I believe he had a personal best through Sector 2. 1 minute 29.2 set by Norris. Let's see what he does as Gasly has the DRS open. There was a slow car there on the left, on the inside of that corner as he now enters turn 27 of 27. Down the final straight. Get that DRS open. What will it be? Well, we'll see here. It's P1 for Gasly. Wow. Pierre Gasly goes top of the times. That's something. You never expect that. We'll see Charles Leclerc lap in just a moment, but Lando Norris is beaten by 0.07 seconds at the top of the times and by an Alpine of Pierre Gasly. Gasly's teammate Doohan has just advanced up to 11th as well. Gap of 10 cars between those two in terms of times. Charles Leclerc sets the fastest Sector 2. If Gasly can do it, surely he can go top. Fastest Sector 2 out of everyone as Charles Leclerc comes around the penultimate corner now. Can he go fastest? That is the question. Still questioning how Gasly's first. If you're a Gasly fan, I'll take a picture quickly because here comes Charles Leclerc. He might knock Gasly off the top of the times here. DRS open. Down the final straight. What will it be? Oh, it's P3 by 0.07 and it's really close to the top of the times now. Really close and we're on board with Pierre Gasly. I know it's only practice 1, but I can't believe it. Track dominance, Pierre Gasly versus Doohan. Gasly dominating everywhere except from turn 9 to the banked corner, which is that straight. So it's not that much. It's like a 10th of the lap. That is really something from Pierre Gasly. Piastri now. Could he knock Pierre Gasly? It's the story here that everyone wants to know now in practice 1. Especially me, I'm probably the only one who wants to know. Can Pierre Gasly finish the session P1? Probably not, but we'll see here. Oscar Piastri coming to the line. What will it be? It's not good enough. 1/10 off Pierre Gasly as he stays in 4th. Oh, this is looking very good. As we're looking at Kimi Antonelli around the final corner. Does he hit the wall? Oh, I think he does here. Oh, that is the closest I've seen someone get to the wall. That final corner, that you could fit a piece of... You couldn't really fit a piece of paper through that as well. Wow. Oh, and Norris having a bit of a moment in the first chicane. As he got on that first curb, slid and was forced to go off track. He did cut the corner off, but that lap won't count because it was track limits. Yuki Tsunoda now, he's in 8th. 1/10 off Pierre Gasly's best time as he comes around that penultimate corner. It's a very long penultimate corner. You say penultimate corner, you got to wait about 10 seconds until you say final corner. And just as I say that, here comes Yuki Tsunoda around the final corner. A bit of lap traffic through the middle of the track. Does he hit the wall? Well, there's a bit of a slide at the back. Yuki Tsunoda gets the DRS open. Where will he be in the times? Will he go up? Will he stay there? He will stay there. He's 5/10 off Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly still leads in Saudi Arabia with 19 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Can Pierre Gasly finish practice 1 on top? There's a few that could stop him. I mean, anyone. Because it's Pierre Gasly. Anyone could stop him. And for the first time, we see now Gabriel Bortoleto has managed to get himself out of the bottom 22. That's a surprise. Bottom 22. He's been last all session, basically. But he is 18th now. And only Ocon and Hadjar is underneath him, but Hadjar's been in the pit lane for quite a while, so his last time was set on the mediums, and it's time once again for Sky Sports F1 to go to another break, just as we think. Can Pierre Gasly finish practice 1 at the top of the times? So while Sky Sports F1 are on a break, let's go through the current classification for you then. Pierre Gasly is first, followed by Lando Norris, who's second, Charles Leclerc third, Oscar Piastri fourth, Alexander Albon fifth, George Russell sixth, Carlos Sainz seventh, Max Verstappen eighth, Yuki Tsunoda ninth, Lewis Hamilton 10th, Nico Hulkenberg 11th, Kimi Antonelli 12th, Jack Doohan 13th, Fernando Alonso 14th, Lance Stroll 15th, 16th for Oliver Behrman, 17th for Gabriel Bortoleto, Liam Lawson 18th, Esteban Ocon 19th, and 20th is Isaac Hadjar. And Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton have driven the most laps in this session each, with 17 laps. And one driver who's not entered the pit lane as much, he is in the pit lane now, that's Liam Lawson. He's only visited the pit lane once, which is actually currently why he's in the pit lane now. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure to subscribe and like. We have got more action from the whole weekend coming up, including more Formula 2, more Formula 1, as these sessions just come quick and fast, and very interesting stuff. Track temp has gone down. It was 50 degrees, it's now 45.8 degrees, and the humidity's gone down from 71 to 67%. Air temperature down from 30 degrees to 28, as it gets a lot more, dark, and the sun's setting. The evening is closer here in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, very interesting stuff in this first session. I'm going to tell you something. My favourite currently at the moment, Pierre Gasly, still leads. Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen are out there. They'll try to stop him. And Pierre Gasly has entered the pit lane. So there is really only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars in the pit lane. No, 7 cars out on the circuit, but Lando Norris will make that 8, as he has left the pit lane, according to the live timing. Of course, when Sky Sports F1 does come back, though, we're gonna be slightly behind. So very interesting stuff, which is why you don't really want to look at the live timing. It might just spoil the experience. Track temperature is now 44.6. I believe it was 48 not long ago. I don't know, it definitely has gone down. In, well, my opinion is Lewis Hamilton comes across the line. He sets a personal best, and at the right moment, Sky Sports F1 is back. Thank the Lord for that. 15 minutes to go here in practice 1, and Stuart Barlow should be excited at Alpine. And this is the problem. We see the live time, and the live timing's ahead. Lewis Hamilton, 50 quid. He sets a personal best here as he comes round the final corner. This could be something. This could well and truly be something. Here we go. Doesn't hit the wall. He should get a personal best. He is in 10th. Does he go up? Yes, he does, to 8th. And guess what? It's a personal best. Carlos Sainz, I don't even know if he got a personal best or not. As, well, where is Carlos Sainz? Carlos Sainz has gone into the pit lane. I was questioning why it took him a very long time, because he reached 1 minute 31 and his time was still on, and he wasn't at the line, and he was nowhere to be seen. Well, he is to be seen, and he's in the pit lane as he enters the pit box, where his mechanics will put him into the garage. Let's have a look at turn 1 with Pierre Gasly here, very close to the wall on the exit, like Max Verstappen on his qualifying lap back in 2021, and had a bit of a moment through the second chicane as he went off track a little bit. His teammate Jack Doohan coming up to final chicane. And he just rode the curb a lot. That will do some damage to the floor. A lot of wear and tear will be done as a result of that. Carlos Sainz on the radio. F the Ferrari. It's too dangerous. He cannot let me by there. Please someone tell the Ferrari to not let people by there. It's so dangerous. If that was Lewis Hamilton, it might be Lewis Hamilton. They do have a bit of history, Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton. Of course, Lewis Hamilton replacing Carlos Sainz at Ferrari, which led to Carlos Sainz having to settle for a seat at Williams. He'll be thankful for a seat at that team. At least he's still in F1, as Ocon now coming to the end of Sector 2, as we are nearing the final moments of Practice 1, the first session for the F1 this weekend. 1.2 seconds is Ocon off Pierre Gasly, who is still leading here, as Ocon comes through turn 26, about to go through turn 27. I don't know, I don't want to say it is, but I feel like this is the track with the most corners on in the whole calendar. That's what I think, but I don't want to say if that's right or wrong, as Ocon goes 17th, 1.7 seconds off Pierre Gasly. Norris is out on track. One man who is out on track is Max Verstappen. He's going to try and knock off Pierre Gasly at the top of the times, who has gone into the pit lane. Just hope that Pierre Gasly can stay ahead. Please, please, racing gods, let Pierre Gasly. I'm not even a fan of Pierre Gasly. I just want him to win a session. I'd love if he beats Norris, Leclerc, Piastri, Albon. If he just beats 19 other cars, that will be a huge confidence boost. He did well in qualifying in Bahrain last weekend, so maybe there's a chance. There is a chance. With 11 minutes and a half to go in Practice 1, it's looking... the odds are improving by the minute. Charles Leclerc led 3 laps in Bahrain. His first laps led since Austin last year, which is quite a long time. Austin, you'd think, is at the end of the calendar. It's sort of the start of the final quarter. So, very interesting. Now, a long time since this man led a Grand Prix. Only led 3 laps because of the pit stops saga. Pierre Gasly, starts off the times. I'll be checking in every single lap. Most laps completed go to both of the Ferraris. Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc are on 19 each. Considering Charles Leclerc is currently out, he will probably have more laps completed when we finish. Liam Lawson is 19th. The Racing Bull 1.9 seconds off Pierre Gasly. And Liam Lawson did replace Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo was the one that gave Pierre Gasly that sort of nickname around the paddock. Gotta miss Daniel Ricciardo. Maybe he can come back to F1 one day. As Pierre Gasly is out of the pit lane. 10 minutes to go. It's business time here in the first practice here in Saudi Arabia, and people will say to you, it's just practice. It doesn't mean anything. Well, if you're an F1 fan, even if you're a Pierre Gasly, this will mean a lot for you. This is probably bigger than the race. Unless Pierre Gasly does well in the race. Not saying he won't, but if he does well here, he doesn't have any excuse not to do well in the race. And as we said, Charles Leclerc does now have 20 laps completed. Here, Isaac Hadjar is back out on the circuit. Been a while since he's been on the circuit. Don't know how many laps he has completed. He's only completed 9 laps. Max Verstappen leaving the pit lane on the radio. And very loose in high speed especially. That's very Interesting insight from the number one. Oh, and slow coming out the pit lane. And stopping at the top of the track there, the chicane, to let someone through there. Closest to the wall, 10 centimetres for Pierre Gasly, we saw that earlier. Antonelli, we also saw him close to the wall at the final corner. Piastri's been 12 centimetres away from the wall. Bortoletto's been 20 centimetres away from the wall. Albon's been 23 centimetres away from the wall. Those are the closest runners to the wall. So far in this one, Pierre Gasly still leads the session. Always getting exciting as we enter the last 8 minutes. Here, a free practice 1. Here in Saudi Arabia, and if he does top this session, is he the favourite? I'll laugh if he is the favourite after this session. So 7 minutes, just over that to go, as DRS is opened, final laps begin, and Pierre Gasly is getting a lovely slipstream from Isaac Hadjar. That'll do the world of good. That's not Pierre Gasly, that's a Williams. They looked quite similar there for a moment. That is Albon, who is behind Isaac Hadjar at the moment. Isaac Hadjar is in last place. Hasn't set a time for a while though, so that's why Isaac Hadjar is on that soft tyre. And we'll see what he looks like through sector 1 here. What will it be? Well, he's 6/10 off. Not the best first sector for him there. 40 seconds, and he's aborted that lap. So Isaac Hadjar aborted that lap. He aborted that lap quite quickly there. Sainz is on the radio. I don't know what he's saying because it doesn't have any transcription for it. We might find out sooner rather than later, hopefully. Lawson now. Well, I believe he's got personal bests. Sector 1 and Sector 2 as he comes up to the line. What can he do here? DRS swings open. Is that early? I thought it was a bit early there. But he goes up into 11th place. And that is good for the Aussie there. Pierre Gasly still top of the table. Here, he's beaten 20, but he's beaten 19. This is incredible. We see Ernesto Desiderio in the Visa Tashap Racing Bull Garage. And now, look at Isaac Hadjar. And that Racing Bull. Question is, what can he do here? Isaac Hadjar in his previous race started 12th. He finished 13th. We see Pierre Hamlin, race engineer for Isaac Hadjar, and the Racing Bulls. Russell is on an outlap. Only one car is in the pit lane now, and that is Esteban Ocon. If he doesn't leave the pit lane in the next 4 minutes or so, I don't really see him coming out in this one, but he does come out in the next minute. He'll have a chance to set maybe 1 or if he's lucky 2. You see Lando Norris. Oh, and he had a bit of a moment through final chicane at the start of sector 3. That's not what you want. Could be better, but it's not good enough. Nico Hülkenberg was disqualified last race from 15th place in Bahrain due to excessive plank wear. The team picks out, they've got a big note of that and make sure they get a better setup this time. They don't want to get that disqualification again. And Nico Hülkenberg, that's his practice done maybe? No, pit stop practice, unless they put him in the pit lane. No, pit stop practice. And it wasn't the best time. Wasn't the best pit stop, to say the least. Well, definitely wasn't the best pit stop, to say the least. Yeah, Gasly might finish practice 1 fastest here. Oliver Behrman finished 7th last year on his Grand Prix debut. Like we said earlier, replaced Carlos Sainz. He was the reserve driver for Ferrari. He got that call. Well, no, he nearly didn't get that call then. He was talking about it. Got that call. Would you like to race for Ferrari this weekend? You have to accept that if you got the call. Said yes. Missed out on Formula 2. But he did get to race in the Premier F1 series. Kimi Antonelli, let's have a look what he did at turn 1. He just locked up, or he just went off the track there, must have misjudged his braking point. No, he did lock up. It was not the biggest of lock-ups, but he did lock up. To say the least. Through that first chicane. So 3 minutes to go. Alex Albon. There's another interesting one up there. He's in 5th. Williams have been doing well this season. Not in terms of race pace though. He's in the previous race. He started 15th and he finished 12th. It's not the best race for Albon last time out. And we see him. This might be, well, if he goes for it in this lap and he doesn't on the next lap, this will be his final flying lap with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in practice 1. He's on the radio now. Don't know what he's saying because there is no transcript of it. Albon now comes around that banked corner, around the Saudi Arabian flag that is on a massive white pole there in the middle of the track. Not in the middle of the track, in the middle of the inside of the track, not the inside line. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Isaac Hadjar enters turn 26. Now we'll go through our turn 27 on the soft compound tyre. Oh, a bit of a change in steering in the middle of the corner. Now he comes up to the line. Verstappen's on the radio. Look at entry. Exit compromise. Turn 13 max. Back out the energy. I have no balance basically. Replies Max Verstappen as Hadjar goes into 15th. Verstappen struggling in 9th. And they have been saying at Red Bull, it's the wind tunnel that is affecting this year's car. And anyone who starts a lap or finishes a lap now is really done for the session. Pierre Gasly, his chances of being quickest in practice 1 have gone up significantly. Norris is in the pit lane. Norris has pitted, so he is done. This could be well and truly something for Pierre Gasly. What a start this weekend. He's on another lap here. He's 4 seconds off in Sector 2, so I don't know what went wrong from there, or this is his normal pace and he went out for a bit, and I believe they went in for pit stop practice at the McLaren garage because Norris is on an out lap, so he won't start a new lap, so don't worry about him. Pierre Gasly will come around the final corner. He's definitely not going to be good enough, but are they going to let him take the checkered flag? They're going to let him take the checkered flag. 15 seconds to go. Anyone who starts a lap in these next 15 seconds can finish it. If you don't, you can't. George Russell on the radio. Something feels weird under the braking. Can't put my finger on it. I want to back off. Something's not feeling alright. He'll stay out. He'll take the checkered flag. And he is the second car to do so. Doohan was first. Hadjar's taken the checkered flag. No one's improved yet. Bortoletto's taken the checkered flag now. Albon's taken it. Antonelli has taken it. Cars are taking the checkered flag. And I think I'll be quite happy with this result for the man. Pierre Gasly will finish practice 1 fastest. I think it's not too early to say it, considering Norris and Piastri are on out laps. Leclerc not going to be fast enough. Norris has crossed the line now. Pierre Gasly, come on, they've got to let him take the flag at Alpine. He will definitely be very happy with this result. I'm quite happy just watching this guy. No favouritism towards him, he's just never really done that much until now on this Alpine. Really letting him do a lot of stuff with it, and they'll probably stay out on track so they can get the practice starts done. Pierre Gasly takes the track and the flag, and the only car to take the flag is Liam Lawson, and then once he takes that checkered flag, we are confirmed our time setters. So we are looking at a replay of an onboarder Charles Leclerc here through the second chicane. I think he brushed the wall a bit. Yeah, I touched the wall, and the wall entry of turn 4, says Charles Leclerc. Definitely did, just a little bit, but a bit more than a little bit maybe. And Liam Lawson has taken the flag. So that is it. A practice 1. And wow. You came into it, you think maybe McLaren would top the times. Pierre Gasly is quickest. So let's have a look at the standings. We have P1 is Pierre Gasly, Lando Norris is in second, Charles Leclerc third, Oscar Piastri in fourth, Alexander Albon in fifth, George Russell in sixth, Carlos Sainz in seventh, Lewis Hamilton eighth, Max Verstappen ninth, Yuki Tsunoda 10th, Liam Lawson 11th, Nico Hulkenberg 12th, 13th for Kimi Antonelli, Fernando Alonso in 14th, 15th for Isaac Hadjar, 16th for Jack Doohan, 17th for Lance Stroll, 18th for Oliver Behrman, 19th for Esteban Ocon, and in last place, in practice 1, in 20th place, Gabriel Bortoleto. Crashed on the radio. I think it's the seat that's very hot. It's been the worst it's been, but I like it on my shoulders and high up as well. That's what Saudi Arabia will do for you. The temperature lowering again. It's 43.4 degrees. Track temperature 28 degrees. Air temperature over there in Saudi Arabia. And that will do it as the drivers line up for the practice start attempts. We're on board with Oscar Piastri. Might be able to see what his practice start looks like. They are on the grid, they are allowed to do it. After the first practice session, they usually do it. So why not take the opportunity? Everyone has taken the opportunity. Maybe except from Jack Doohan. Oh no, Jack Doohan was the first to take the flag, so he might be excused. See Piastri now goes up into first braking area of turn 1, and it looked very interesting through there. That launch, very nice. Got to minimise wheel spin on that launch too, as has come into pit lane. Let's have a look at Max Verstappen's practice start. The brake plates. Oh, he locked up. He locked up at turn 1, Max Verstappen. That is definitely not what you want. Add that to the list of things that have gone wrong for him recently. It's the cars being as quick as they can to make it back to the pit lane. Tell you one guy who's racing back, Lewis Hamilton. He's overtaken both the McLaren and the Red Bull on the straight. Very interesting, he's going top speed here. I would laugh if he sets his fastest lap of the session there, after the session. So Pierre Gasly is the fastest here. Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc second and third, but it was Pierre Gasly who finished fastest. What a guy. Building off of the top 3, we have Oscar Piastri, Alexander Albon, George Russell, Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen and Yuki Tsunoda rounding off the top 10, both Red Bulls, finishing 9th and 10th. Lewis Hamilton struggling in the Ferrari, could say again, in 8th, only 5 tenths off Pierre Gasly. 11th, Liam Lawson, then Nico Hulkenberg, Kimi Antonelli, Fernando Alonso, Isaac Hadjar, Jack Doohan, Lance Stroll, Oliver Behrman, Esteban Ocon, and Gabriel Bortoleto. A very interesting session then, to say the least, here on the streets of Saudi Arabia. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening as well. What an interesting session. Practice 1 has come to an end here in Saudi Arabia.